She is an oddity in the women's prison. Every time there is a break in prison, she takes the opportunity to work out. Every time it's her turn to cook porridge, she also exercises her arm strength. Even in the rain, she insists on running. She isn't doing this to escape. The reason she does it is because her husband mysteriously disappeared, leaving behind only a large amount of bloodstains and a sharp small knife. The police found a large insurance policy, and the woman was the beneficiary of the policy. After the woman was sentenced to prison, she entrusted her son to her best friend, and gave the compensation money as living expenses, and also handed it over to her best friend. In the end, her best friend also disappeared. She realized it was a conspiracy between her husband and her best friend. They not only swindled the compensation money, but also took her son away from her, so she actively participated in prison labor, and finally obtained a parole opportunity after 6 years. She immediately investigated her best friend's whereabouts, only to discover that her best friend had died in an accident 4 years earlier. Her husband had received a large insurance payout. The woman had no choice but to track down her husband. She found out that he had changed his name, and had purchased a hotel, where he held a singles auction every night. One night, the woman dressed in an evening gown, and appeared at the scene. Her husband was terrified, and hurriedly explained to her that he had been tempted by her best friend, and it wasn't his true intention. But the woman had already seen through her husband, and didn't rush to expose him. She demanded that he first arrange for her to meet her son. The location was chosen to be the largest cemetery in the area. There were many people there, so she believed her husband wouldn't dare to scheme. The next day, the woman finally saw her son, but the moment he saw her, he ran away. The woman had no choice but to chase after him, and eventually arrived at an empty place. Suddenly, her husband appeared, and knocked her unconscious. When the woman woke up again, she found herself lying in a wooden box. She tried to push open the lid, but the box had been nailed shut. She had no choice but to use a gun to break the screws. Although she managed to escape, the room was locked. She looked at the window, and smashed the glass with a vase. She finally escaped. She then found her husband, and took her revenge in the next second.